It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Test Miles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
If you've ever sat in a car, truck, or SUV, driven a car, truck, or SUV, or appreciated a car, truck, or SUV, you've been impressed by a car, truck, or SUV, or ever wondered how they do that in a car, truck, or SUV, you've landed in the right place. This is America's radio show all about cars, Test Miles. Locally created, nationally celebrated. Our next 60 minutes will inform you, entertain you, educate you, and probably somewhat frustrate you about cars. So buckle in and let's get straight to it. What's on this morning's show? Well, we'll start off with some reports on the latest vehicles that we've been test driving. We'll also be having some special guests this morning. Later in the show, Steve Hirakashi from Kia will join us to tell us all about their new Sorento, an impressive vehicle that improves on the already capable full-size Kia SUV. And later on in the show, Eric Ledoux, the Director of Marketing from Nissan, will be joining us to give us all the scoop on their new impressive Murano. Finally, we'll be talking to Peter Clover. We'll hear from him about his 24 days of Christmas gifts, which will give you some local gifts which will not be able to be passed up this season. So sit back, relax, as we begin this week's episode of Test Miles. In our studio, the team includes car freaks, know-it-alls, and opinionated individuals. Virginia, the intern, Sean Walker, and old man Brad is in the studio this morning. Brad doing double duty this morning. You're on another show before ours.
Well, yeah, well, I have to be an expert on everything. At least that's what my wife thinks, or says that I say.
Wait, that's a role reversal. Normally, isn't your wife the expert on everything?
No, she says that I believe I'm an expert on everything.
Oh, right, I get it. Totally.
Just true.
All right, let's look at what we've been driving this week. I have been in, and we'll have a very Lexus Toyota show this week. I have been in the Lexus IS 250. This is a four-door luxury sedan, upscale interior designed with premium materials, excellent steering, smooth ride, and very edgy styling for Lexus. That's the beginnings of their spindle grille on some of their new cars, by the way, making Lexus reach out into design areas they have not been in before. It's a little underpowered, and I will have to say, when I first got in this car at the launch of the vehicle, I did not like it. I did not like the interior. I did not like the drive. I did not like anything about this vehicle. However, after spending a week in it, I've done a complete 180 on it and do find it a very enjoyable vehicle. Some complained of its lackluster power. Its fuel economy is not that great, but it's fair. It's a little bit under-designed, as all Lexuses are, but... And that, by the way, is the new official term, Lexuses. Now, the company have decided to go with Lexuses instead of Lexus-I, or whatever it was.
Not Lex-I?
I think it was Lex-I, or officially now it's Lexuses.
Which sounds a lot better than Lex-I.
I think so. 2.5-liter V6, 204 horsepower, 6-speed automatic, a rear-wheel or all-wheel drive, 24 miles a gallon. Not great for a luxury sedan. And that's combined 21 city, 30 highway. The rear-wheel drive gets slightly more than the all-wheel drive. Who does it compete against? The BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class, Audi's A4, Infiniti's Q50, and Acura's TLX. Now, it has plenty of trim levels. You can get this in the 250, 350, and ISF. The IS 250 starts at $36,550. The price, I think, very fair for this vehicle. Also been test driving this week the Hyundai Santa Fe. This is the brand new one for next year. I am super impressed with this car. Very, very impressed. They have done a brilliant job. They're branching out. Their styling is getting better since Peter Schreier, who is the chief designer for Kia, also has Hyundai now under his wing. I think the designs are getting a lot more bold. It's spacious throughout the vehicle, designed interior with lots of cubbies, lots of standard features, lots of options, and a good value for money. It also has that 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Low fuel economy, which is great. It's one of the best fuel economies of all of its rivals. Now, the engine's available 2.4-liter four-cylinder and a 2-liter four-cylinder. And also, if you go up to the larger version, you can get a 6-cylinder. 6-speed automatic, front wheel or all-wheel drive, 23 miles a gallon combined. That's 20 in the city, 27 on the highway for the Hyundai Santa Fe. And I do tell you that it does compete with a lot of vehicles in this class. One of the fastest growing classes of any vehicle. Ford Escape, Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Jeep Cherokee are all in that particular class of vehicle. But this is outstanding, a great value for money story. And the starting price, $24,950. So an excellent starting price. Sean.
I was driving the 2015, Toyota Highlander EXL, or XLE. And I'm actually impressed with this vehicle. I was going in, and it's a comfortable drive, very nice. Everything's comfortable inside. The thing I love the most about this car is the in-shelf dash that the Toyota actually came in. Has holes so you could throw your cell phone in there, plug it in so you won't have cables all over the place. And it's just nice that manufacturers actually thinking somewhere to put your cell phone now. Because a lot of manufacturers, they just expect you to throw it in a cup holder. But this has the 3.5-liter V6 engine, 270 horsepower, 6-speed automatic, comes in an all-wheel drive. Fuel economy is not the best, but it's also an 8-passenger vehicle. So it does get 24 miles to the gallon on the highway, which is better than some of the bigger ones like the Tahoe. Competes against the Ford Explorer, Honda Pilot, Chevy Traverse, and some of the cool tech in it is basically they have a little speaker, so if someone's sitting in the back or the third row, you can actually speak to them through the Bluetooth, and it'll come through the speakers, so you don't have to turn your head and yell.
Right, this is what we call the knee-slapping software, so you can now shout at the kids so they can hear you and the speakers in the back instead of having to turn around.
But, I mean, don't they should have it too.
By the way, Brad just gave me a thumbs up.
And that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't they have, it so the kids in the back can push a button to speak to older people like Brad that might have a hearing aid?
Put the Bluetooth in the hearing aid.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I think that's a great device for you, Brad, in the back, because I've seen how Cade, your young son, can get out of control.
Doesn't listen to me?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, I think the last time you were over the house, he was hanging out the window of the car, and you had to go over and grab him like a mother cat grabs a kitten by the scruff of his neck and pull him out of the car.
He seems to like it.
Oh, being yanked around. Yeah. He probably does it just so you give him some attention.
Yeah, no, I think that Bluetooth thing is brilliant.
Yeah. So it's the speaker, basically. There's a microphone up front, and when you get him back, you just speak, and they can hear it in the speakers in the back. So no messing around.
Yeah, it's an awesome feature, and more manufacturers, especially family rigs, should come up with this. I give the car a 9 out of 10. I mean, I cannot find anything wrong with it. It's comfortable. There's no hard plastic. The interior actually looks nice.
Excellent.
Great
Brad.
vehicle.
I got to be in the 2015 Lexus ES 300H. Now, I got this on the heels right after the Cadillac ATS, so the two are diametrically opposed for me in styling, comfort, everything. Whereas the Cadillac is really a car to be driven hard, it wasn't overly comfortable for me. For this, once I hopped into this Lexus, it was just really comfortable. Everything fit well, but it's typical Lexus. Everything's just fine. It's not awe-inspiring, but it does everything well.
They meet all the expectations, but don't make your heart sing, right?
For women, it'd be like your second husband. He's not inspiring. He just does everything he's supposed to do. But this, for the hybrid, it's a great system, and I didn't feel a lot of pressure. A lot of times on the hybrids, you'll feel a little thumping on the brakes, and it seemed very seamless to me. It got 40 miles to the gallon, which is great, and the styling is beautiful. It's not completely redesigned. There's just some minor changes in the infotainment system. There's a standard 7-inch screen. We're still a little bit stuck with the Inform system, which is not my favorite.
No, they've been working on that. And they've been working on the design, too. So how does it do on fuel economy and on price?
On price, it starts in the 40,000s. The price is tested with few nav systems was 46. So for an entry-level vehicle, it was exactly the same price as the Cadillac and some of the other vehicles, the Volvo S60. This more or less competes with the Lincoln MKZ hybrid, but I think its biggest competition may be the Avalon hybrid. I mean, its sister car.
Right.
So, for a little bit more money, but it's much more luxurious. I give this a strong 9 as well.
Excellent. All right, and finally, deal of the week.
Our deal of the week is coming from Nordic, and it is a 2015 Volvo XC60 T6. Only has 10,000 miles on it, and it's going for... Where do you have it here? Sorry, Oli normally does this.
It's free.
It's free. Go tell Oli that we're giving you a free car. No.
We'll have the price and we'll post it online. Jenny, we're going to get to what you've been driving your video game a little later in the show because we need to take a break because we have an interview coming up. You're listening to Test Miles on FM News 101 KXL. I'm Nick Miles.
Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
Welcome back to Test Miles. If your driveway has been good to you this year, the Portland Auto Show is offering tickets to the show February the 5th through the 8th, 2015. Just go to PortlandAutoShow.com to buy your stocking stuffers. You can get tickets right now for $10 to the Portland International Auto Show. Here's a fun fact you can impress your friends with. In Malaysia, if your car is too successful, your competitors can force you to raise the price. Don't you just love that? All right, according to Kia Motors, the name Kia derives from the word ki, which is to come out, and the word or the letter A for Asia. It roughly translate as arise or come out of Asia or rise out of Asia. The South Korean's oldest car company, Kia, was founded on June the 9th, 1944, as a manufacturer of steel tubing and bicycle parts made by hand. The company opened its first integrated automobile assembly plant in 1973. Now, Kia Sorento was introduced originally in 2009, and it is the first vehicle to sell over 100,000 vehicles for the U.S. In the U.S. for Kia. Kia is now outselling Audi, BMW, Mazda, and many more. They've sold their 5th millionth vehicle in April, and I spent a number of days at Lake Tahoe in California to put the all-new Kia Sorento through its paces. Joining us to talk about the new vehicle is Steve, who is one of the product department managers for Kia. Steve, welcome to the show. Now, this vehicle comes in a 5 and a 7 passenger configuration, doesn't it?
Yes, that's correct, Nick. We wanted to provide a variety of configurations so that it could appeal to many different customers with different needs and budgets.
A lot of things about this vehicle are fairly impressive. It does a lot of the competition's work for it. You have bridged multiple brands with it, but it does get slightly bigger, doesn't it?
Yes. It's grown in length. We had the first generation, which was a body-on-frame. We then moved to a unibody. But what we did for this latest generation is we talked to our current customers, and we found out what we did right and things that we could improve upon. And one of the things that people did like was the overall size, which was fairly compact, not as large as some of the more larger and mid-size CUVs, but they did want a little bit more room on the inside, so we increased the wheelbase by 3 inches.
Now, lots of luxury refinements on the inside as well.
Oh, yes. The other thing, too, is the brand continues to evolve. One of the things that we wanted to do is increase the level of premium and class-up amenities, which doesn't just affect the features, but we also we're looking at, the materials used. So like the trim panel, there's a lot of soft-touch trim throughout the interior. We have a piano black trim and wood grain trim as well. It gives a very kind of what we like is a kind of an upscale interior feel.
Now,
hopefully you agree.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I love that new red leather color that you have in the Turbo that I drove. That was very impressive. And of course, the Napa leather. A lot of people just put plain leather in their vehicle, but putting Napa leather in, I think, is a great advancement in luxury features. And also to win over family members to make their backsides more comfortable, you've also added heated and ventilated seats, not just in the first row.
Yeah, that's correct. In our top-end trim, you can have the second row is fully heated as well, seat back cushion and back. So, yeah, we wanted comfort for all the passengers.
Now, what happens to the third row? They just have to suffer?
The third row is a part-time third row. A lot of these customers, they don't have large families, but they do from time to time. They'll have friends or a visiting relative. So that's really what the intent is. and trying to keep the prices and the vehicle size manageable. We prioritize the first and second row, first and foremost.
Now, 3 engine choices in the brand new 2016 Kia Sorento. You've added a new turbo.
Yes. We recognize that trying to continue. We have first of all the 3.3 liter V6, and we made that more capable by having now up to 5,000 pounds of towing. And then for the 2.4, which is a very popular model in terms of mix and affordability, we've smoothed out the torque curve on that, and as well as retuned it, so now it gets we're targeting 2 miles per gallon better on the highway, and we're awaiting final EPA figures on that. But then, as you mentioned, we also we're introducing the new 2.0 turbocharged GDI twin-scroll engine, and that actually provides kind of the best, kind of from the 4-cylinder and the 6. It provides power, in fact, up to 260 pound-feet of torque at just 1,450 RPM. So it spools up quickly. And if you have a lot of discipline, you keep your foot off of it. In some ways, you'll get good fuel efficiency out of the engine as well.
Now, adding a little more dynamics for the driver and continuing the value for money story and the performance story that Kia has, you're also adding a drive mode select system.
Yes, that's standard on all models, and quite simply, what it does is it provides a little bit of driver control for the driver in terms of if they want to have an eco mode, it adjusts the shift points in the transmission, so it shifts sooner. And if you want a more sportier, there's a mode where you select and it adjusts the steering assist as well as the shift points. It holds it in the gear, so you can wind out the engine a little bit more.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's for different suits.
Last question for you, my friend. Google Search now with a Navi system.
Yes. Google Search with Navi, which is nice. We continue to evolve our UVO head unit, and we're adding now SoundHound, which is a great app for those who love music, but also Google Search, so that when you do voice command, you could search for something, let's say Panera Bread or something, it'll come up, and then you can from that search put it directly into the navigation system. So it makes it a lot more convenient to use.
Perfect, Steve. Thank you for giving up your Sunday morning. This is going to hit dealerships mid-January, I believe.
That's correct. We hope to have it on sale shortly, and we're very excited about this new model.
I'm definitely excited as well, and I will tell you, no secret when I'm going to mention this, we're actually considering one for the family because really do enjoy it. Thanks so much, Steve, for giving up your Sunday, and you can look for that brand new Kia Sorento arriving in dealerships in mid-January. Coming up, we'll be talking to the marketing director of Nissan about the new Murano, and Peter Clover standing by with a hot deal for your Christmas shopping. That's all coming up on Test Miles. I'm Nick Miles.
Favorite us, tweet us, friend us, love us, all at testmiles.com.
Sunday morning, and this is Test Miles, Portland's automotive radio show at testmiles.com. Try following us on Facebook. Here's a fun fact to impress your fans with. The Ford GT was so strong that when they did a roof crush test on this car, it broke the machine. Now, Nissan have announced they have the best full-line manufacturer fuel economy of any car maker in America, giving them an overall 26 miles a gallon, and those figures don't include the Nissan Leaf. So they got to 26 miles a gallon without their all-electric Nissan Leaf. Nissan was formed in 1911, and one of the first vehicles that they built were fire engines. They've come a long way in 103 years, and they have an all-new Nissan Murano. It was rolled out in Napa a couple of weeks ago for us to test drive, and joining us on the phone is Eric Ledoux, Director of Marketing for Nissan North America. Eric, thanks for taking the time out to join us on a Sunday morning. The Murano is probably the most identical to the concept version, the production version. Why can't more car companies do that? You did a great job.
Well, Nick, thanks so much for having me this morning. And yeah, really strong kudos to our design team and our engineering team who were able to take that resonance concept and turn it into real life in our all-new Murano that, by the way, just started shipping last week. So we're very excited to finally, after all this hard work and preparation, to have it come to the marketplace just in time for the holidays.
It is one of the most impressive vehicles that I have driven in 2014. You've done a great job in improving the fuel economy of this vehicle, too.
Yes, and it's interesting you said that. As a matter of fact, you mentioned the full Nissan lineup being so fuel efficient. It's remarkable that in that design and in that evolution of work, while the engineers and designers were getting this car ready, is they were able to give it a coefficient of drag of 0.31, and what that means is this car to the wind feels like a sports car, and so extremely aerodynamic, extremely good looking. Improved powertrain, improved transmission, and now we have an EPA highway miles per gallon of 28 miles per gallon, which is just fantastic for a crossover SUV.
If my memory serves me right, that is the same drag coefficient as a Porsche 911 Turbo, which is pretty impressive.
It is. Yeah. It absolutely is, yes.
Look, let's talk about Nissan, because you guys have quietly, very quietly, in stealth mode, hit it out of the park. 85% of Nissans made in the USA, and sales records this year which are absolutely jaw-dropping.
Yes, and what we firmly believe, Nick, is that there is no silver bullet. As you know, in this industry, everyone is always bringing the best and the latest, and it really is a combination of a lot of things. And in the case of this product, which is very near and dear to my heart, it has a key role to play in our growth, and the timing couldn't be any better. An all new crossover SUV with the looks that it has, with the upscale interior that it has, and by the way, these are the segments that we're starting to see in the industry are fueling growth.
Now let's take a look at a couple of other things that I was pretty impressed with as far as the vehicle is concerned. On the inside, a complete redesign with this, including things like panoramic sunroof, 7-inch full-color display, and lots more cargo room.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we anticipate at this point at launch to have best-in-class cargo room once you fold those seats down. And I don't know during your drive in Napa whether you're able to do that, but we're thrilled that when you fold that second row down, it is a flat cargo area that offers all kinds of flexibility and utility. But to that end, once you put those seats up, it's comfortable, it's extremely social, as we shared with you. And what we mean by that is we have, NASA-inspired zero-gravity seats for the driver, the passenger, and the passengers in the back. So whether you're going out to dinner with friends, going on a long trip, or really using it for utility, this SUV and crossover really delivers on all fronts.
Now let's talk about some of that technology in those seats. So you spent quite a few years working with NASA to invent a seat that was the most comfortable for anybody to really sit in on long journeys.
Yes, as a matter of fact, so the genesis to that is what is the natural seating position of a human being in zero gravity? And so we were able to work with NASA to find out exactly what the bend in the hips and torso and all that were in a zero gravity environment. We were able to roll that out in the Altima, which is in market today, and we have that for our driver and our front seat passenger in the Altima. And of course, with Murano now coming to the market, we said, well, if it's important for the front, it should be important for the back as well. And so all seating configurations in the car have that.
Now, let's talk about price, because that's the point where most people actually make a commitment to test drive a vehicle when they understand what the price is. $29,560 is the starting price. A well-equipped Nissan Murano, can you get it up to $50,000?
Well, no, you can't. We will break the 40s when we are at the top notch on our Platinum edition, which includes, as you know, all the creature comforts you could ever imagine, and quite honestly, in some cases, creature comforts that are only found in luxury vehicles. Such technologies like intelligent cruise control and forward emergency braking and predictive forward collision warning, and of course the styling of 20-inch aluminum wheels and LED headlamps and all the creature comforts and styling cues that come with premiumness. But We don't anticipate going to $50,000. Matter of fact, fully loaded, this car in all-wheel drive will be just a little over $43,000. So really delivering tremendous value for what it delivers.
And I think that's probably the good news that people were looking for, because quite often you can start these vehicles at fairly modest prices, but by the time you've equipped them with the things that you need, they do creep up pretty fast. But I noticed when looking at the Murano and the way that the packages are structured, you really don't have to add a lot of trim levels. You can start off with the base trim levels and get a pretty well-rounded vehicle.
Yeah, and to that point, we've packaged it such, and what I mean by packaging is how does each trim level deliver value? We've tried to make it very simple and make logical steps along the way. So we only have 4 trim levels, an S, an SV, and an SL, or a fully loaded Platinum. And off of each one of those variants, we only have one package that you can add. So really trying to deliver simplicity to the consumer, to our dealers as well, so that they can stock the proper car that the consumer is going to want. And then, of course, once they drive off the lot, they feel they've been able to get tremendous value in the vehicle.
I did share an email with Dan Bedore and told him that I don't think I've been so impressed by a test drive this year. The vehicle just knocked my socks off as far as, we test drive 150 vehicles in the year. And this, you guys have just done an amazing job. It looks like a spaceship. It's got the technology of a spaceship, and it was nimble and fast. You guys definitely met the goal of impressing us like you did in the first Murano.
Well, thank you so much. And to that point on the ride quality, part of that coefficient of drag we were talking about a few moments ago is the ability to lower the car a little bit so it's not as tall as it used to be, so your center of gravity drops a little bit. The car's a little bit wider and longer, and so to that end, when you get in, not only do those creature comforts make you comfortable, but the drive really feels very, very reassured.
Eric, I want to thank you so much for giving up your Sunday morning to talk to us at Test Miles. If you want more information on the the brand new Nissan Murano, which is heading to dealerships right now, you can go to Nissan's website and then go build yourself one and find more information out. And if you'd like to see our news report, which aired on our TV stations at Test Miles, you can go to testmiles.com. Eric, thanks so much. When we come back on Test Miles, Peter Clover's here with some of those Christmas gifts, the last-minute ones that you've been looking for, and he's got some deals that'll wow you in his 24 Days of Christmas from Mobile West. That and more when Test Miles continues. I'm Nick Miles.
Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
We'd like to keep you informed all week long, so just follow us on Twitter at Test Miles. Here's a fun fact you can impress your friends with. The Panagonia Zonda, which is a fabulous supercar, shares its instrument panel with the very cheap and not so nice Lancia City car. If you go get pictures of both of them, you'll find that one of the world's greatest vehicles has the same instrument panel as one of the cheapest.
That's kind of like how the last generation Viper shared everything with Neon.
Yes, it did. And Viper are very and the SRT brand are very happy that you bring that up.
Sorry, guys, but it was true.
All right. Well, as you know, at the beginning of the show, we talk about what we've been driving. We talk about the cars we've been test driving. We give you our evaluation of them and what we think of them. But our intern, who is 13 years of age, also gets to drive a car each week. Unfortunately, it's in Forza, so he has to... what have you been driving in Forza this week, Junior?
I've been driving the new... not the new one. The McLaren 12C. It's been replaced by the 650S. I haven't gotten it yet. It's in a DLC pack I can't get because Microsoft is annoying. It's got... The 12C has good handling. I don't like the look of the front end, honestly. I think the back end looks a bit better. I like the air brake and the thing that's like the McLaren P1 and the spoiler that pops up. That's spoiler, really cool. It's just such a good car. It's got perfect power. I think it could do with a little bit more power, though. And the handling's really good.
You know, when
I like the interior a lot, too.
You know when you're a big man and you get a driver's license, you get into one of these cars, do you think it'll be the same experience as playing it on Xbox?
You gave me this lecture last week about the Viper.
I'm just saying, it feels very different.
I bet it does.
Although people who do play video games, racing games like Gran Turismo, do go on to be real race car drivers. And I have plenty of stories about that. Well done, Genya. All right, Christmas, Hanukkah, the holiday season upon us, whichever you will be celebrating. And that means that Peter Clover is here from Mobile West to talk about his 24 days of the holiday sale, which is going on right now. What have we missed since you were here last week? What deals were on the table and are off the table?
Some of the deals that were on the table and off the table this week. We had one of the finest sets of speakers in the world at any price tag, set of Morel limited edition Elates. We have the two last uninstalled sets in the world. And they
in the
were,
world?
In
Wow.
the world. Okay, these are special things.
Right.
And they were 50 cents on the dollar.
Wow, so 50% off.
You could have bought a used car for the savings you had on those speakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Special.
Do you
offer.
still have them?
I do. One person is still in negotiations about it, but the other set
All right.
is still available.
So what other deals were on the table this week?
Well, a couple lovely things. One was heated leather kits. Replace the interior of your car with a custom-made, your choice of colors, custom-made leather seats with heat in both front seats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just the front seats?
No, the whole car.
All right, so the whole car. So all
Update the
seating.
look and feel and touch and comfort of the entire vehicle.
And what were you offering that for this week?
That was at $1,250.
Oh, wow. You could have got a new leather interior for $1,250.
Yeah, the dealership costs you $2,800.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you don't probably get the heated seats with that, do you?
You got to buy. Well, you've got to buy 2 levels up on the Murano to get that, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 2 other sets of packages.
Yeah.
So
No, you're right.
we can make the car you already own have the look, the feel, the quiet, the comfort, the technology that you would like for fractions on the dollar of buying a new car.
All right. So we're into a new day here. We're looking at the 14th, Sunday, the 14th of December. What's the next deal which kicks in? Or do you have a deal today, or is it tomorrow?
Well, it's Sunday, so I'm launching 2 deals today, today's day and Monday's day.
All right.
So they'll both be available on Monday.
So what's up on today's deal?
All right. We have got 2 things. One would be Apple CarPlay, the new Alpine touchscreen Apple Deck. It is the absolutely finest smartphone interface radio on the planet.
So this is what Apple call their best way to use your iPhone in the car. You plug it in, and then selected icons appear on the screen in front of you from your phone, and you can use Siri and your music and everything. And so that's a head unit that goes in the vehicle. What is the normal price, and what are you offering on the special?
Well, Alpine lists that unit at $900 plus labor. I am having a price that I cannot put out on the media. You will have to come see me in the morning. You will be astounded.
Now,
And every single person that has purchased this and used this are just blown away with how gorgeous and easy to use it is.
Now,
This is the same
so let me ask you
Apple
the question.
CarPlay that's going to be in 2016 Volvos.
And in the 15th year Sonatas mid next year. Yeah.
Absolutely, and the new Ferraris.
Let me ask you a question about this. So you can't tell us the price because you might get in trouble with
Yes,
Alpine.
I will.
All right. So you're selling
Yes,
it for
I
what?
will.
They don't allow you to advertise this price.
Absolutely.
All right.
And since I generally don't do that, and this is the only sale of the year we have,
Right.
come take advantage.
All right. So where do we come to Mobile West to take advantage?
Yeah. Come to Mobile West. We're at 140 Northeast Broadway. That's kitty corner for Broadway Toyota.
All right. So that's today's deal. What's tomorrow's deal?
Today and tomorrow, because we're closed on Sunday.
So
We've got 2 deals on Monday.
Okay.
The other deal on Monday is remote start from your smartphone.
Oh, okay. I'm liking that already.
Absolutely. We're not talking about press your factory clicker and it works at 25 feet away. I'm talking about we're on the 6th floor. My car is on the street.
Right.
I will start it now. It will be warm up. It will be defrosted.
I'm liking
My
this.
seats will be toasty
I like
before I ever get down to my car.
this. Liking it even more.
Because I can control my car from anywhere we have cell phone service.
All right. Tell me how much that's going to kill me for purchase and installation.
Most cars, done and complete, $299.
So $299 installed.
Yes, tomorrow only.
All right. I think I might be going to Mobile West tomorrow. Peter Clover from Mobile West, thank you so much. You can check him out on the web. You can follow us at Test Miles on Twitter. Do the Facebook thing, Test Miles LLC, and also go to our website, testmiles.com. Heading to Austin, Texas to drive the new Chrysler 300 next week and see if that is any good. We'll report back next weekend on that, and we will have loads more information. Check in with the guys at Mobile West. Check in with us all week long on Test Miles to find out the latest car news. I'm Nick Miles.